It's August and I live in Florida, and that means hurricane season. Are you prepared? In this video, we're going to show you how to set up a solar panel, run the cables to a battery bank, and then we'll show you all the things in your home that it will run, and it's going to surprise you. And trust me, it will make life a little bit easier, a little bit more tolerable while you're waiting for the electricity to come back on.
All I have needs, I have not provided.
I've lived through a lot of hurricanes, from Hurricane Donna to Hurricane Mitchell. Trust me, I know how miserable it is. We decided to invest in a solar panel and the battery bank, and we wanted to share with you how it made a difference in our lives after these horrible storms. This solar panel is 28 by 60 inches. It's $180. It is 180 watts and it weighs about 30 pounds. We have the panel leaning up against an old tripod that I've had for years. And my husband added some little feet on the bottom so that the whole panel could lay against it and it would be more stable. So he's got this, the legs actually buried a little bit so that it can't fall over. Now we've connected 2 extension cables to the actual solar panel. One extension cable is 20 feet long and then we added another 10 feet. For us in our situation, that's plenty to go wherever we need to into the center of our home. So both of those cables cost about $60 altogether. This is our battery bank. It's called an EcoFlow and it comes in different sizes and they name the different sizes different names. And this is a River Flow. It is a 720 watt battery bank. It costs around $800. Now for us, it's all we need. You can buy larger ones, but they are going to be a lot more expensive. We like to get a power strip and that way you can plug in more than one thing. There's places on there, the battery bank itself, that you can plug in 3 things, but I don't know. I just like the power strip better, and I like a power strip that has those little places where you can plug in your phone cords. If you don't have a power strip that has that, it's okay. The battery bank itself has the little spots where you can plug in your phone cords. This is our modem for internet. We run 2 computers at the same time and the TV can be going on all at once without dragging it down. It does have 5G. Now our company is Verizon, and Verizon does sell quite a few different hotspots. And this is what we use for all of our internet, and we're very happy with it. So this is being run solely on the solar panel feeding into the battery bank, and also we have the Wi-Fi connection.
With no markups.
So the other day we were without power for 2 hours and it was nighttime, so we didn't have the solar panel, of course, to charge up the battery bank. But the battery bank was full, and so we watched TV in the dark for 2 hours, no problem. So one of the things that, if you see that there's a hurricane coming, just be sure your battery bank is already at 100%. That way you're not starting from 0, that you're already starting with a fully charged battery bank. So now that we are running the TV, you can see that there's a lot more going out, though not a terrible amount, but there's more going in. See here, the input is still higher than the output. Now the 9 that flashes back to 10, that's the remaining hours that we have on this battery bank at this rate.
We're taking you on a journey to the past.
So one of my main concerns was that if we had to go completely dependent on that solar panel, would it build up this battery bank to the point where I could run small appliances? One of them being a grain mill. If I had to, could I grind my grain and then use a cooktop to make pancakes or stovetop biscuits, anything like that, that would be a quick bread? So we're going to demonstrate that yes, it does work. Now it will run any small appliance. If you want to run a blender, a cooktop, a toaster, but it's not going to run anything major. Probably not a microwave. You'd have to look at the wattage on that to see if it's strong enough to run a microwave. Okay, so I'm going to start this and then we're going to turn down the volume on the video because this particular unit is pretty loud. The grain mill used quite a bit of power, and it did kind of slow down the grain mill itself, but it was still fast enough to grind that grain perfectly. So this brings to mind that you need to check the wattage on the battery bank that you're buying and against all the devices that you really want to run should you be without power for a long time. So do your homework before you buy your battery bank. Our battery bank may not be powerful enough for the things that you need to do. So check that out very carefully. Just do your homework.
Okay, the reason why we chose induction cooktop is because you can regulate the wattage.
Oh.
See, now it's on 900 watts. This unit is anywhere from 750 to 1200 peak. So I feel it's safe to run on 900. You can reduce the wattage this way. So you don't need to go 9. Or you can go as high as 1200. Which would, you could do water much more quickly. But it takes more out of the unit.
Oh, I see.
But as long as the unit's running well and it doesn't shut down, in other words, it's not overloaded, you can go with more. But I trust it on a lesser. Let's say we'll do 1,000. And let's see how the unit does. If the unit shuts down, then we'll have to reset the unit. I don't want to have to do that.
When we set the cooktop to automatic, it took this little pot of water about 5 minutes to come to a boil. And that's good enough for a cup of instant coffee. But if you've got a large family to cook for, and we had a family of 9, so I understand, you're going to want a large pot for a one-pot meal. So I tested it again, and this is what I came up with. So it took about 20 minutes for this large pot of water to come to a boil, and this is about 1 pound of macaroni. It is not done. So you see at 1,000 here, I don't know if you can see that here. At 1,000, it is taking a lot longer than, of course, your regular stovetop. So you're going to have to give yourself plenty of time to get it done. So what I'll do is just strain off this macaroni when it's done, return the pot to the cook's top here, and then I'll heat up the vegan cheese sauce that I have and then put the macaroni back in there and continue to cook it until it's completely heated all the way through. This took about twice as long as it would have my regular stovetop. So do give yourself plenty of time. Now this is a portable fan. It's not an absolute necessity, but you're gonna love it when it's evening. And I mean, after a hurricane, if you've ever been through a hurricane, you know that humidity is awful. And so one way to give yourself a little bit of relief from all that humidity is to be able to run a fan at night. Once the fan is charged up to 100%, if you set it on about halfway, it should last you all night, 8 or 9 hours. But if you're going to set it on high, you probably ought to get 2 fans because it's only going to last about 4 hours. So there's just very little output here, but as you can see, it is charging it. And so you can safely just plug this in and leave it without fearing that it's going to drag this battery bank down a lot. One of the most important things you're going to need is a way of communication. And so I want to show you that you can charge up your phone using this, as well as use your computer. And if you have a tablet, that works too. So I'm going to plug this in. Make sure my phone is on so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. That quick. So it's charging. And I just happen to have a full battery right now, but it did kick in. So that's a very cool thing. And you can run 2 devices like that at a time. This way. Okay. Fire up the computer. Again, you want to have all your devices at 100%. You see the hurricane coming? Just start charging up all your devices, including your battery pack. So you can see here, it is running off of an exterior power. So this is connected all the way around to here, and it is charging both devices. These are devices that we are really, really happy that we had. We had some trees that went down, and my husband was able to use a battery-powered saw and cut all the limbs down and trim it back to the point he was able to winch the rest of the tree upright. And so this works saw right here takes only one 20-volt battery. But we have other equipment around the house or around the home that uses the 40 watts, and so it takes 2 of these. So we do have it plugged in. You see that it is charging. So this whole setup is something that you really want to consider, especially if you have trees around your property. So I'm working on a video that will show you what we started with 2 major trees down on the ground, how my husband cut them into little pieces and kept trimming them until they were at a point where he could winch them back straight up, hoping that we could save the trees, and it worked. But this saw right here did the whole thing. It was absolutely amazing, all battery operated. And here they are, just 10 months later. We really value the shade that they give us. Those are Chinaberry trees, by the way. Why not subscribe? I'm going to help you prepare for a hurricane and have that kit ready so that you're not faced with panic. We'll help you with information like how to run a generator, what will it run in your house. We'll show you how we save those trees. We'll also make a video about an e-bike. And I'll show you how to make an apple pie on the grill. So the solar panel, the battery bank, and all the cables is going to run you about $1,100 if you get the same size as we did. If you want to invest in the fans, that's more. If you want to invest in the cooktops, that's more. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your valuable time. And if you don't mind, please pause just a minute to give it a green thumbs up.
Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.